Alright, we got the Atlanta Hawks taking out the Miami Heat tonight. I didn't get to watch any of this game because, school, but I was following it a little bit and tracking things as they happened, and, there's not a lot to say. Atlanta played, really well. They definitely took care of business. They scored a lot of points for once. I mean, there were actually points in this game, which kind of unexpected, but it was Joe Johnson came alive. He had 25-6-6. Great game from Joe Johnson. Bibby was solid. I know Al Horford got hurt, but that's okay because Zaza is a solid backup. Josh Smith had a 20-8, which is pretty good. Flip Murray had 23 off the bench. So they really played solid, took care of business at home. Wade played pretty well, even though he was not 100%. He got hurt during the game, and he was hurt coming in. He put up 29. Beasley put up 18 and 5, so he was solid. Nobody else really came around that, but I was encouraged by what I saw from Beasley. Beasley submitted a pretty solid game. He gave them what the Miami Heat need to win on most nights. Not this particular night, but they got some positive things from Beasley. I maintain Miami will win the game, game 6 in Miami, and it's all going to come down to game 7, and hopefully I can catch that one because I think it's going to be a great game. Let me see. Yeah, that game 7, if it happens, will either happen Sunday or Monday, and I'll be able to watch the game in either of those scenarios, so that's always cool. And Denver finishes off New Orleans. I got to watch the second half here. Frustrating for Chris Paul. It's been a frustrating season for him, and I can't completely excuse the way that he struggled in this playoff series, but tonight he had a double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, playing hurt, obviously playing hurt. The only player that seemed to come around him well was David West, and James Posey was hitting his shots, but it wasn't really worth that much. But it was a frustrating year because I'm so used to seeing Chris Paul finding a way to come out on top, and it didn't happen. I don't know. I mean, I'll say it again. I think that team quit on their coach, and Byron Scott needs to go. I don't know who to replace him with, but something's got to happen there. Props to Carmelo for shedding the playoff demons. 34 points, 6 rebounds in this game, 3 assists. So, things have been said about Carmelo's ability in the playoffs, so it's nice to see him get a handle on that. He played well in this game. He played okay in this series, so we'll see what happens next series, because in this series he had Peja Stojakovic guarding him. Not going to have that luxury in the future. And, J.R. Smith, such a fun player, and I'm kind of excited for the Denver-Dallas series, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. But J.R. Smith, man, he takes these 30-foot threes, 26-foot shots on a regular basis, and it's something. So, I mean, if there was a 4-point line, I definitely think that J.R. Smith would be taking 4-pointers as often as he could. I think if they passed a rule where all shots longer than half court would be 4 points, I think J.R. Smith would definitely be one of the guys who would chuck up 4-pointers. So that series is over. Hornets bow out in 5. Tomorrow, Celtics Bulls. I'm not going to be able to watch, but it's going to be fun. I'm sure Rondo's going to get knocked down because Rondo is not getting suspended, so I definitely expect to see Brad Miller put Rondo on his ass at least once. A little bit of retribution. Very interested to see what Paul Pierce does, because I think he's running on fumes, but he needs to take over at some point if the Celtics want to make sure they close this thing out. I'm excited to see what Perkins does, because Perkins was so good in the Game 5. Just an exciting series all around. And I actually think Chicago will win this game. I think it'll be close. And I certainly wouldn't be surprised if Boston did win, but I think the Bulls will win this game and push it to 7. We got the Magic taking on the Sixers. Dwight Howard is suspended, which is obviously a huge loss for the Magic. But if they could close this series out anyway without Howard, that would be huge for them. It would buy them a couple days of rest. Hopefully allow Hito to recover, maybe Richard if he's still hurt to recover, Courtney Lee, because they won't have Courtney Lee either. So it's going to be all on a Richard Lewis, maybe on J.J. Redick to step up. Turkoglu needs to get his act together. It's going to be hard to beat the Sixers in Philly without Howard or Lee, but they do have the insurance plan of a Game 7 to fall back on, and I don't know. I don't know if Howard should have been suspended, because he was provoked into swinging his elbow. I've seen the play, and Dallenberg was shoving him before, so I don't know about that one. And we got the Rockets and Trailblazers. I will probably catch the end of this one, hopefully the last 5 minutes or so. If it goes into overtime, all the better. This is a big game. I don't really like this series, but this is a huge game. Whoever wins probably wins this series, because if Portland gets to play a Game 7 at home, I think they'll take it. And of course, if Houston wins, that's the end of the series. So that's an important one. I don't really know what to expect. I do think the Rockets will win. So I have the Bulls winning, the Sixers winning, and the Rockets winning, to recap. I do think the Sixers are going to win that game. So that's all I got for now. Just wanted to talk about basketball real quick. See you guys later.